Welcome to the Travel Robot YouTube channel. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be notified every time we post. Jacksonville is a city located on the Atlantic coast of Florida, the most populous city in the state, and is the largest city by area in the contiguous United States as of 2020. It is the seat of Duval County, with which the city government consolidated in 1968. Consolidation gave Jacksonville its great size and placed most of its metropolitan population within the city limits. As of 2020, Jacksonville's population is 949,611, making it the 12th most populous city in the U.S., the most populous city in the Southeast, and the most populous city in the South outside of the state of Texas. Jacksonville straddles the St. Johns River in the First Coast region of Northeast Florida, about 11 miles south of the Georgia state line and 350 miles north of Miami. The Jacksonville Beaches communities are along the adjacent Atlantic coast. The area was originally inhabited by the Timucua people, and in 1564 was the site of the French colony of Fort Caroline, one of the earliest European settlements in what is now the continental United States. Under British rule, a settlement grew at the narrow point in the river where cattle crossed, known as Waka Palaka to the Seminole and the Cow Ford to the British. Harbor improvements since the late 19th century have made Jacksonville a major military and civilian deep-water port. Its riverine location facilitates Naval Station Mayport, Naval Air Station Jacksonville, the U.S. Marine Corps Blount Island Command, and the Port of Jacksonville, Florida's third-largest seaport. Jacksonville's military bases and the nearby naval submarine base Kings Bay form the third-largest military presence in the United States. Significant factors in the local economy include services such as banking, insurance, healthcare, and logistics. The area of the modern city of Jacksonville has been inhabited for thousands of years. On Black Hammock Island in the National Timucuan Ecological and Historic Preserve, a University of North Florida team discovered some of the oldest remnants of pottery in the United States. In the 16th century, the beginning of the historical era, the region was inhabited by the Mocama, a coastal subgroup of the Timucua people. At the time of contact with Europeans, all Mocama villages in present-day Jacksonville were part of the powerful chiefdom known as the Sechuriwa, centered around the mouth of the St. Johns River. 1. Friendship Fountain. Friendship Fountain is a large fountain in Jacksonville, Florida. It is in St. Johns River Park, also known as Friendship Fountain Park, at the west end of downtown Jacksonville's South Bank Riverwalk attraction. The world's largest and tallest fountain when it opened. The fountain and park were designed by Jacksonville architect Taylor Hardwick in 1963 and opened in 1965. The fountain's 3 pumps could push 17,000 U.S. gallons of water per minute up to 100 feet in height. Friendship Fountain remained one of Jacksonville's signature attractions through the 20th century, but severe corrosion and deterioration to the equipment resulted in periodic closures in the 2000s. The fountain and Friendship Park were designed by Taylor Hardwick, the Jacksonville architect who also designed the Hayden Burns Library. An area of 14 acres of land was donated for the project by the Southside Businessmen's Club, an organization dedicated to the improvement of the South Side that was established in 1932. Begun in 1963 and completed for $1.7 million, the park opened in March 1965. 2. Catherine Abbey Hanna Park. Catherine Abbey Hanna Park is a 1.5-mile public beach and city park in Jacksonville, Florida. It is located at Mayport in the Jacksonville Beaches area. It consists of 447 acres. Part of what is now Hanna Park was formerly Manhattan Beach, Florida's first beach community for African Americans during the period of segregation in the United States. At its height, the beach included amenities such as picnic pavilions, cottages, and an amusement park. In 1967, 5 acres of land for the park was donated by Winthrop Bancroft, who required that the land be named for Catherine Abbey Hanna. The city purchased the surrounding property in the 1970s during the administration of Mayor Hans Tansler, expanding the park. The first general-purpose trail was constructed by Michael Long in 1987 as his Eagle Scout Service project. 3. TIAA Bank Field. TIAA Bank Field is an American football stadium located in Jacksonville, Florida, that primarily serves as the home facility of the Jacksonville Jaguars of the National Football League. The stadium opened in 1995 as Jacksonville Municipal Stadium on the site of the old Gator Bowl Stadium and included some portions of the older stadium. Located on the St. Johns River, it sits on 10 acres of land in downtown Jacksonville. In addition to hosting the Jaguars, the stadium is regularly used for college football, concerts, and other events. It is the regular site of the annual Florida-Georgia game, a college football rivalry game between the University of Florida and the University of Georgia. The stadium is also the home of the annual Gator Bowl, a postseason college bowl game. 4. Museum of Science and History. The Museum of Science and History, MEBOSH, is a museum in Jacksonville, Florida. It is a private, non-profit institution located on the South Bank River Walk and the city's most visited museum. It specializes in science and local history exhibits. The roots of MOSH go back to 1941 when the Jacksonville Children's Museum was chartered. The first permanent home was a Victorian mansion in Riverside. Construction began on the current location downtown in 1965, and the facility opened in 1969. The Jacksonville Children's Museum became the Jacksonville Museum of Arts and Sciences in 1977, and 6 years later, they were accredited by the American. The stadium is regularly used for college football, concerts, and other events. It is the regular site of the annual Florida-Georgia game, a college football rivalry game between the University of Florida and the University of Georgia. The stadium is also the home of the annual Gator Bowl, a postseason college bowl game. 4. Museum of Science and History. The Museum of Science and History, MEBOSH, is a museum in Jacksonville, Florida. It is a private, non-profit institution located on the South Bank River Walk and the city's most visited museum. It specializes in science and local history exhibits. The roots of MOSH go back to 1941 when the Jacksonville Children's Museum was chartered. The first permanent home was a Victorian mansion in Riverside. Construction began on the current location downtown in 1965, and the facility opened in 1969. The Jacksonville Children's Museum became the Jacksonville Museum of Arts and Sciences in 1977, and 6 years later, they were accredited by the American Alliance of Museums. The name was changed to the Museum of Science and History in 1988, and 37,500 square feet of space was added, including the planetarium then known as the Alexander Brest Planetarium. The last building renovation occurred in 1994, resulting in a total of 82,200 square feet. 5. Amelia Island. Amelia Island is a part of the Sea Islands chain that stretches along the east coast of the United States from South Carolina to Florida. It is the southernmost of the Sea Islands and the northernmost of the Barrier Islands on Florida's Atlantic coast. Lying in Nassau County, Florida, it is 13 miles long and approximately 4 miles wide at its widest point. The island was named for Princess Amelia, daughter of George II of Great Britain, and changed hands between colonial powers several times. It is claimed that 8 flags have flown over Amelia Island: French, Spanish, and British. 6. Jacksonville Baldwin Rail Trail. The Jacksonville Baldwin Rail Trail is a rail trail that extends from northwest Jacksonville to Baldwin, Florida. While it is technically a city park, it includes 3 separate paths, a multi-use asphalt trail for hiking and jogging. The city of Jacksonville purchased an unused east/west former Atlantic Coastline Railroad corridor from CSX Transportation, Incorporated in December 1992, in conjunction with the Florida Greenways and Trails Program and with the approval of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The trail runs from Jacksonville's Imson Road to Brandy Branch Road near Baldwin for a distance of approximately 14.5 miles. 7. Downtown Jacksonville. Downtown Jacksonville is the historic core and central business district of Jacksonville, Florida, USA. It comprises the earliest area of the city to be developed and is located in its geographic center along the narrowing point of the St. Johns River. There are various definitions of what constitutes Jacksonville's downtown. The one used by the city government and other entities define it as including 8 districts: the Central Core, or North Bank, the South Bank, La Villa, Brooklyn, the Working Waterfront, the Cathedral, the Church, and the Entertainment and Sports District. The site of modern downtown Jacksonville originated at a crossing of the Street Johns River known to the Seminole as Waka, to the Spanish as the Pass de San Nicolas, and to later British settlers as the Cow Ford. Histories of the city report that there was once an Indian village at the site called Osashite. 8. Carpel's Manuscript Library Museum. The Carpel's Manuscript Library Museums are a private collection of more than 1 million manuscripts and documents in the United States, the largest such collection in the world. It was founded in 1983 by California real estate magnates David Carpels and Marcia Carpels to stimulate interest in learning, especially in children, and to make the collection more accessible. Is distributed among many Carpels museums across the U.S., each located in a historic building, plus mini museums in schools and office buildings. Items are rotated between museums quarterly, and each of the museums presents a daily general exhibit and one or more special scheduled exhibits throughout the year. In addition, Carpels is aggressively expanding the content of its website. All of the Carpels manuscript library services are free. 9. Riverside and Avondale. Riverside and Avondale are two adjacent and closely associated neighborhoods, alternatively considered one continuous neighborhood, of Jacksonville, Florida. The area is primarily residential, but includes some commercial districts, including 5 Points. Riverside was first platted in 1868 and was annexed by Jacksonville in 1887. Its greatest growth occurred between the Great Fire of 1901 and the failure of the 1920s Florida land boom. This period included the creation of the original Avondale development in 1920. Today, Riverside and Avondale are notable for their particularly diverse architecture and their emphasis on planning and historic preservation, which have made them Florida's most architecturally varied neighborhoods. 10. Jacksonville Zoo. The Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, located in Jacksonville, Florida, sits at the mouth of the Trout River, near where it flows into the St. Johns River. The zoo occupies approximately 122 acres and has over 2,000 animals and 1,000 plant species in its collection. The Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens marquee attractions are the range of the jaguar, which won the 2005 AZA. Hope you like this video. If so, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more videos. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.